What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of FPL Hall or Nothing. It is Saturday, July 13th at right around 2 p.m. My name is Ewan. On today's episode, we're going to get into some more FPL price reveals as the game has continued to give us more and more prices. After Thursday, they gave us 20 players, and on Friday, 35. And on Saturday, right now, we didn't think we were going to get any until about 1 o'clock. And here we are, just getting some Brighton assets. There's another one that just dropped as well, but we'll check all of that out right now. Brand new YouTube channel, so any likes or subscribes to the channel greatly appreciated. Starting to build new side. I already have a F1 Fantasy YouTube channel, F1 Fantasy Pole Positions. You could go check that out if you are into F1 Fantasy, but this will be solely for Fantasy Premier League. This episode should stay pretty current until more price reveals come out. So, like I said, it's 1 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. Germany time. So we will just go through some price reveals. Drop any comments if anyone is there. I doubt anyone is watching some FPL content live on a Saturday afternoon, but I just kind of want to jump on, talk some FPL. So let's get into it right here. Where are we going to go? Right here. Boom. So on Friday morning, FPL kind of teased us more price reveals coming up starting this morning. Anyone else feel a little bit cold? And then, of course, yes, we got Cole Palmer's price, which was one of the biggest questions throughout the summer so far. 10.5 million for Cole Palmer, the biggest jump in FPL history from one season to another. Up 5.5 million from his starting price last year. They also give us some other Chelsea assets. Nico Jackson, 7.5. Raheem Sterling, 7.0. Reece James at 5.0 and Dewsbury Hall at 6 to go along with Nkuku that we got the other day at 6.5. So it's very encouraging that they've got Cole Palmer this high, 10.5. That's going to be some really huge decisions in our FPL squad with Mohamed Salah at 12.5, Erling Haaland at 15. Initially, right off the bat, it seems like a fair price. I don't think it's too high. I don't think it's too low. Maybe 10 million would have been a little bit softer and more accessible to get some guys in our FPL lineups here. But for now, feels like a good price. Really gives us a little bit of a headache. I've got a poll going right now. You can probably answer it after the episode goes live or is done. If you're watching on replay, it's who are you more likely to have in your FPL Game Week 1 team, which will be Haaland, Mo Salah, or Cole Palmer. Right now, I'm leaning towards Mohamed Salah, although I am a biased Liverpool fan, but he does have Ipswich in Game Week 1. I know we're supposed to think about long-term a little bit more in FPL, but I think the game has really become more and more about jumping on these runs when we can. And Liverpool, Game Week 1, Mohamed Salah, captaincy feels like a very nice option to me. Next up here, we kept going through. FPL was kind of talking about Cole Palmer really being a one team. We got Brentford next with Wissa 6 million, Shada 5.5, Mark Flecken at 4.5, which is a pretty nice entry point for the Brentford keeper, although he did have his ups and downs last year. And then Ben Mee at 4.5 as well, and Thiago at 6. Can't say I'm going to be going heavy on Brentford at the beginning of the season, but it is nice to see that they should be in line for kind of some value options. I'll be interested to see if Pinnock's price comes in because he was starting to gain some steam last season before he injured his knee. So I'll be interested to see when the game fully launches what Brentford's price is. Mark Flecken, only 4 goalkeepers bettered Mark Flecken's points last season. Are you tempted by the Brentford FC's 4.5 million pricing? Possibly, but I would probably have to dive deeper into the fixtures, which we are going to do on an episode in the next couple of weeks on this YouTube channel here. And we'll just check out what teams are like on the up, on the down, that kind of thing, at terms of like the first 3 to 6 game weeks. Next up, we have Aston Villa And this was where I started to get really interested in Friday's prices. Ian Matson 5.0. He was excellent in Champions League fantasy last year for Dortmund. He even went to the final with Dortmund. 5.0 is a little bit tougher than I would like. If he was 4.5, that would be like spectacular. Would have loved him to come in at 4.5, would have been automatic pick for me. I still think he's very likely to make my game week 1 team just based off of the information that we have right now. Leon Bailey, 6.5 million. He'll be very popular if he can stay healthy, but he never really does. So we've got to watch out for that. Emi Martinez at 5.0 million. So they're really pricing up the goalkeepers. He is a Champions League goalie, so that would make sense. And then Konza down here at 4.5 million. Already seen a lot of the mainstream content creators say that he will definitely be in their game week 1 team. I guess. I don't know. I'm really excited about Matson, to be honest, and hopefully we'll get some Villa preseason. So even though it's 0.5 more, I still would lean towards Matson just because of what I've seen and his potential. Konza should be good, but yeah, Matson only 0.5 more. I think I can make that work once all the prices come out. We'll see, obviously, to be determined with all the rest of the prices. But yeah, a couple of or 3 Aston Villa options, pretty nice there. Matson, Leon Bailey, and Konza coming out of the villains side. Next up was Crystal Palace here. Eze at 7.0. Kamada, don't know too much about him, 5.5. Ian Wharton, 5.0. Mark Gahey, 4.5. Richards, 4.5 as well. I think everyone in the FPL community was hoping to find out Munoz's price, as he had a storming end to the season for Crystal Palace, but it was not meant to be. So we're going to have to wait for Munoz's price a little bit longer. But Eze at 7 million is certainly interesting, as is Mark Gahey at 4.5, although he won't have the ball recoveries points like he has had in Euro Fantasy right now. If you are still playing or you have been playing Euro Fantasy at all, Mark Gahey has been crushing it for England in defense in Euro Fantasy with his ball recovery points. But as a 7.0, very tempting, a little bit up from last year's price. I think it was 6.5 last year. No Michael Elise, so Eze should have all penalty kicks and corners and free kicks pretty much for the Eagles all locked up. So he could definitely be somewhere to go in your game week 1 squad and just overall for the rest of the season. Moving on here, we went to Wolves. Cunha has been reclassified from a midfielder to a forward at 6.5 million. So that's interesting. We've had a price reveal today that I think probably eliminates Cunha from consideration over at Brighton. But the one I was interested in here is Ait-Nouri. I am running towards Ran this preseason, 4.5 million. I know Wolves have some tough fixtures. I've looked at that a little bit. And if they are all healthy, it is likely that Ait-Nouri won't be playing left wing like he was playing for a few weeks there. I think in the late game week 20s at some point last season, he was really just flying up, or maybe it was like around game week 30 to 35, especially when Wolves had a double. He became very popular. Unfortunately, he got injured a couple of times. But he was really attacking. So it's a wait and see on Wolves considering their early run of fixtures, which I guess we could just go check. Actually, let me see here. Fixtures. Wolves. It's going to let me click on Wolves. Let's see how interactive this thing is. Where are you? Yeah, so here we go. So here's Wolves opening run. Arsenal, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, Aston Villa. So that's a pretty tough, the kind of just the opening run for Wolves is probably not going to be all that great. Looks like I've lost some audio here, so no worries. I will just go back to the other page, share this tab instead. There we go. Back to it here. Yes, so Wolves could be a wait and see, something to consider maybe in the after game week 7 once they get their price or their fixture run out of the way. Who's ready for an FPL party? They teased us Jamie Vardy, 5.5 million. They're really pricing down all of the promoted teams this season. But Jamie Vardy, 5.5, should be quite interesting at some point in our FPL squads. I don't know too much about the rest of Leicester, so I'm not going to sit here and kind of say that I do. Decordova Reed from Fulham, 5.5 million, has sometimes been in consideration, but no one really wants to go with a Fulham asset, and I'm not sure how popular Leicester assets will be. They should have a tough sledding of it in the Premier League, also because it sounds like they're going to get a points hit right off the bat. So Jamie Vardy has registered 200 points in 2 occasions. How do you feel about his 5.5 million pricing? Once again, like I'm going to show you guys in a little bit, there is another 5.5 million forward that is going to blow everyone out of the water for most of the preseason. Next up, it was West Ham here. Kudos 6.5. That's really nice pricing. He was super attacking last year. Did fade in the second half of the season, but overall, very interested in him. James Ward-Prowse 6.5. Just one of those like steady eddies of FPL. Had a best ball format, like you just pick one team for the entire season. James Ward-Prowse would probably be a pretty solid pick. He's on corners, free kicks for West Ham. Will get you those like drip points, but never really hauls all that much. Or if he does haul, you always miss it because you're not ready to bring in James Ward-Prowse. Antonio 5.5. Areola at 4.5 as well. He was a 4.0 million, I would say, gem, but it was maybe just a trap the entire 2023-2024 season, as he really did not do all that well, even though he was 4 million. So I think a lot of people went for him in Fantasy Premier League. So a couple of West Ham assets there are tempting to go along with Jared Bowen that came out on Thursday at 7.5 million. Eze here getting hyped up. So this is where Saturday, it was kind of like there was no price reveals at midday. So we were wondering if just they weren't going to do anything on Saturday or Sunday since it's the weekend. England are playing in the final tomorrow night. But yeah, Brighton over here launching some prices. Don't know too much about Minte at all, but João Pedro, 5.5 million. Brighton don't have Europe this year. He was prone to rotation under De Zerbi, but if João Pedro can nail down penalties, or he's going to nail down penalties. He was on penalties last year for Brighton, but if he can keep that and he can nail down 90 minutes every week in the Premier League at 5.5 million, that is a excellent third forward. And that is probably one of the worst prices we've seen out of official FPL so far this preseason, just based on if you got a 90-minute man on penalties and he's 5.5 million, like that is such an easy pick. He's going to be so popular in the game. So he's definitely going to catch my eye here. Estupinan at 5.0. He was flying last year, got some injuries, then fell out of favor with De Zerbi as well. Comes in at 5 million, just like he did last year. And he was a bargain during the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. Absolutely flying. Lewis Dunk, 4.5 million as well. And Adingra, 5.5. Can't say I'll be going for too many Brighton assets, but João Pedro here, 5.5 million, is incredibly tempting. And it looks like I've got another notification here. Oh, that's from something else. So yeah, this is kind of where we're at right now in the prices. I can show you what my initial reactions have been to most of these prices. Let's see. I've commented on most of them here. Let's see where we're at. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so when Haaland got his price, said, this is awesome, real decision FPL about whether to get Haaland or not. Still stand by that. These are kind of just my initial thoughts. Let's see how they look 48 hours later. Managers will get pretty familiar with Leif Davis soon enough in FPL, potentially the gem for a side that scored 92 goals in the championship last season. That's for Ipswich. Davis had 2 goals and 21 assists for Ipswich last season. Then I was reacting to the position changes for Kai Havertz and Richarlison. They went from midfielders to forwards in the game. You can get them in your team for the same price as one Erling Haaland. So that is something to think about. You got Kai Havertz and Richarlison in your team with João Pedro for 5.5. That is a cool 20.5 million among your forward group compared to 15 million for one Erling Haaland. So it could be something to consider there. Also some debate I saw online. I'm not sure when we're going to get this officially decided, but Ollie Watkins was announced as 9 million on X on Thursday, and then official FPL um, posted on their Instagram that he was 9.5. So I think we're all kind of waiting to see what the deal is with that when it comes to Ollie Watkins, but should be interesting. 9 million felt like a little low. 9.5 feels really spot on. But we will see if they keep which one they go with in the end. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Antoine Semenyo both broke 100 points barrier last season. 5.5 million defenders here. I said could see Hudson-Odoi getting some FPL love if the best players get priced up similar to Haaland, which Cole Palmer 10.5 is. If Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden come in around, I'm hoping that Bukayo Saka comes in at 11 million and Phil Foden comes in at 10, so that we have like a little bit of differential, so we can have some debate amongst those three. Because if they all come in at 10.5, I think I'll probably just go with Saka. He seems to be on penalties. I trust Arsenal more than I trust Chelsea. Phil Foden had a career year. We'll see if that continues under Pep. It's always hard to trust Pep for that long, but it'll be interesting come game week 1 where we all go. Mohamed Salah 12.5 million. I said you love to see it. Game week 1 versus Ipswich. FPL captain sorted, and you can follow me on X here at F1U and FPL. I cover F1 and FPL. I also write some baseball DFS, all that stuff on rotoballer.com. So make sure you check that out as well. But on X at F1U and FPL, follow me there. Saka, Foden, Palmer 11 would be chef's kiss for FPL pricing. Palmer 10.5, pretty close there. Bruno Fernandes came in at 8.5. I said I would have loved him to be cheaper, but they would have been 100% of FPL squads. Solid price, will probably be in my team at some point this season. Guaranteed 90 minutes, guaranteed on penalties. That's where if João Pedro can get up to that level of 80, 90 minutes every week and he's on penalties for Brighton, he will be very high. I would expect like over 50% ownership in FPL for the upcoming season, especially in game week 1. Then they gave us Jean-Philippe Mateta, Ivan Toney at 7.5. Rumors that Ivan Toney has told Manchester United to pretty much come and get him. So that would be extremely interesting. Would Toney take over penalties for Bruno Fernandes? That would be something to think about as well. Havertz for 0.5 more feels like an easy choice here, but Mateta was on fire to end last season. Could be a big differential to get in the FPL campaign. Agree there. However, if Toney goes to Manchester United, that would be pretty tempting. I assume he would be nailed on in that starting 11 as well over Rasmus Højlund. Anthony Gordon, Jared Bowen, both at 7.5. Great prices, especially Gordon, probably for him to Nkunku and Bruno at 8.5 for Bruno and Nkunku at 6.5 for Chelsea. Talking about the first episode, which you can check out. It's on the channel already. The first episode of FPL Hall or Nothing. The entire YouTube channel started right there. And here we are, back to the beginning of the week. Let's see if I can get us over to the official FPL site here. You know what? It's all right. Oh, wait, let's go here. And then let's click here. Let's see if we've got anything else to talk about before I get out of here. It said, and you thought we were done with FPL price for the weekend. Stay tuned for more throughout the day. So we've had Brighton already. Hopefully we'll get a couple more. I should be back tomorrow, maybe Monday, definitely Tuesday, when hopefully we've had a ton more prices. But so many prices were revealed yesterday, and then there was a surprise one this morning that I just wanted to hop on the channel and kind of give some quick thoughts about the prices for FPL that they have launched for us. But that will do it for today's episode of FPL Hall or Nothing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the channel. Just chit-chat about FPL on a Saturday afternoon. Not any high expectations, obviously. But let me know in the comments below if you are enjoying the channel. Like and subscribe to it. Greatly appreciated. Follow me on X over there at F1U and FPL. And yeah, I should be back sometime early next week, probably Tuesday morning. I'll be back. I'm not sure if I'll go live or do a pre-recorded video. I'll tweet about it a little bit there. But anyways, once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.